Clash of Titans on tap in the PBA Philippine Cup. Tonight, the reigning champions, Barangay Ginebra, are battling the former kings of the conference, the San Miguel Beermen. And that's happening at 6 p.m. inside the PBA's new bubble in Bacolor. Both teams coming off huge wins ahead of their much-awaited match. Ginebra claimed a grind-out victory over the rain or shine Elasto Painters, while San Miguel handed the TNT Tropang Giga their first loss in the All-Filipino tournament. I asked San Miguel head coach Leo Austria about their much-awaited matchup against Ginebra, and he talks about their approach against the Gin Kings.
Yeah, alam naman natin since the start of this season alam natin sila yung seeded to win a championship in this All-Filipino Conference because of the build-up of their team and addition of Christian Stanhardinger to their lineup. Imagine in the bubble they don't have Christian Stanhardinger in the lineup, and now they have him, and I think he will be a good help for the team. That's why every team is preparing hard for them.
And now joining us to go all out on this story is none other. Now let's hear the other side of the story. The head coach of Barangay Ginebra, the one and only legendary Coach Tim Cone, taking time again to give this interview. Hi, Coach Tim. Welcome back to Sports Desk. Good morning.
Happy to be here. I'm looking forward to the game tonight.
Oh, Coach, a lot of people have been looking forward to this matchup, especially after you guys, we know a lot of storylines. Like you added Christian Stanhardinger, which was former San Miguel Beermen, and then they added CJ Perez. They got Junmar back. A lot of things happening in this bubble. How excited are you, if I want to use that word, for this matchup against San Miguel?
Well, we didn't play against Junmar in the last bubble.
That's right. Yeah.
And so that's a huge difference. He makes everybody better around him, but you have to focus a little bit of your time on him, and so that opens up the perimeter shooters. And that's kind of what happened with Talkentex. They really focused on Junmar. They held him down a little bit, but the perimeter players really destroyed them. So those are the things we're going to have to worry about when we play them. This game's got a little bit more importance because both teams are kind of chasing the leaders at this point.
That's right. Yeah.
We've really got to. It's kind of us or them kind of game, and it's crucial for us in the standings.
It is crucial. It's obvious that both of you guys want to get that win against each other tonight. Well, San Miguel is riding high after they handed TNT their first loss of the season. What will be your biggest concern against them right now, the way they are playing, Coach?
Well, they're coming off a huge win, as you said, and so they're going to have some momentum, some confidence. It's going to be up to us to try to break that early, hopefully with our defense, and we need to come in with a really strong defensive mindset. It's not a team that we can try to outscore. They're just so prolific in all positions. And again, Junmar is the big mitigating factor there. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to do on him when he comes out and does pick and rolls and what he does down at the post. They pose a lot of problems, and they've got CJ Perez now who plays with he kind of changes their game a little bit because he's such a great open court player. So they're able to up tempo a little bit when he's in the floor. And so it gives them an extra added weapon. And then Terrence Romeo is back and looking healthy. And, he's such a great one-on-one player. You can't switch on him and let him play against a lesser defender. He's going to eat that guy up. So they certainly pose all kinds of problems with Marshall and Chris, Ross, and Arwin. I mean, they're a complete team, no doubt about it.
Well, we did mention C-Stan earlier, Coach. This will also be, I believe, his first time facing his former team, San Miguel, since becoming part of Barangay Ginebra. What do you think of Christian so far? Can you say that he has already adjusted to the system that you guys are running and also adjusted with his new teammates here?
Well, we've made some strong adjustments, with him over the last few days and then into the last game. And I thought he showed a little bit more comfortability there. And, he had some good numbers. He had 5 assists in the game. Could have had 8 or 9 if we had finished some of the plays that he was part of. And, he's such an outstanding passer for a big man, and it's something we're still trying to take advantage of. And of course, he's going to get to the boards and he's going to get some points. And I think as a big man, he's going to be very close to doing a lot of triple doubles as we move forward. But we're still developing that, and he's still learning what we're doing. And we've had very limited practice up here in the bubble. We've had very limited practice with him before the bubble because he was injured until about 10 days before the conference started. So he's a real thinker, and he needs to see the floor. He needs to really understand the system for him to play at a high level, and that's going to come over time. Mm-hmm. And so we're not worried about it. We know that him and Japa, they're going to figure each other out. They played a lot better together in the last game, but it's just the key word is patience. We just got to have patience, and the more we try to rush it, the worse we're going to be. So we just got to take our time and make sure we're doing it the right way, and have him grow in our system the right way. And at some point, we think he's going to take us to a whole new level.
I agree with you. And I like that word when you use that patience. It's just all about trusting the process as well. I think both on his side and on your side as well. And Coach, you guys didn't know, right? You were going to face San Miguel tonight until Tuesday when the PBA released this week's schedule. What has it been like preparing for such a huge matchup like this one, especially given that quick turnaround after your game against Rain or Shine, and then just a few days ago, okay, you're facing San Miguel.
Well, yeah, it's really tough, no doubt about it.
For sure.
You're challenged in different ways here in the bubble. The game is played a little differently. The preparations are certainly differently than what you would normally do. So the challenges are different, and in some respects harder, but it's pretty much even for all the teams. As much as we came off our Rain and Shine game, San Miguel's coming off their Talk 'N Text game, and when we play Talk 'N Text on Sunday, they'll be coming off a game also today, just like we will against San Miguel. So it kind of equals out. We're all struggling to get prepared, but it's just really the lack of practice time. That's hard. We're all here in the bubble, so we can call the guys at any time to meet and spend as much time as we want meeting, but we just don't get the on-court time that we would prefer. Mm-hmm. When we go to a practice, it's scheduled for us, and we got to get out at a certain moment, because the next team's coming in, and that's different because in Manila, we control our own practice. We can practice 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours if we really want to. Yeah. But here we're really restricted. So it's different challenges, but I think it's pretty much even for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And you did mention already you'll be facing TNT, who just got their first loss earlier this week. But it will be a tough week for you guys, capping off against facing San Miguel tonight and then TNT capping it off. How important is this stretch for you, Coach, especially in the run-up to the playoffs? Because currently, Barangay Ginebra is 7th with 3 wins and 3 losses.
Yeah, basically, if the playoffs started today, we wouldn't make it. So obviously, we have a lot of work to do. So we wouldn't make the top 6, I would say. And that's really the key. You got to get to the top 6, because if you're in 7th and 8th, then you're playing, one of the best top 2 teams, and you're at a disadvantage having to win twice. And that's really, really difficult. And oftentimes just chamba if you do it. So, it's really on you to get to the top 6. And if this playoffs started today, we wouldn't be there. So every game we play right now is crucial. Mm-hmm. It's like we're playing the playoffs for us already. We're playing the playoffs to get to the playoffs. So every game is a playoff type battle for us right now, starting tonight with San Miguel.
When you mentioned that word chamba, I wouldn't imagine that in a million years, associating that word chamba with Tim Cone.
Oh no! A lot of luck involved in trying to win a championship. A lot of luck involved. It's hard to imagine how much luck you have trying to win a championship, and it's always there. And oftentimes it's a last-second shot. It's a quirk in the schedule. If the loose ball went your way. There's so many ways to get lucky, and our chamba, and we've certainly taken advantage of that over the years.
And you've been through it all. Coach, stay where you are. Grab a glass of water. Coach Tim will still be with us after this really quick break. You're tuned in to Sports Desk, only here on CNN Philippines, where we go all out for the day's top sports stories. Stay tuned. And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on Sports Desk, only on CNN Philippines. We still have with us today the winningest coach in the PBA, Barangay Ginebra head coach Tim Cone, ahead of their matchup, much anticipated matchup against the San Miguel Beermen tonight. Coach, I believe I did speak to you before we started this season, and it was about the circuit, and then we were asking you about the differences of this and the bubble, the pros and cons. And now here you are in this another challenging season with a different type of bubble, with the PBA's adjusted protocols. Let's talk about that, Coach. The league's decision to release your schedule week by week. We talked about that. And then, having a bubble again this time around, but a little bit different from last year.
It's a little bit different from last year. In some ways, it's even more restrictive because we're on our own a little bit more. The PBA is not supervising us as tightly. So therefore, we have to be tighter ourselves. And we've had some ups and downs to start. Obviously, we were caught in lockdown for about 4 days before the resume of the league, and that was really difficult for us because we had to be locked in our rooms and we couldn't practice for 4 days while the other teams were practicing. And, Northport has gone through that. Morocco's going through it now. So, it's been a difficult process. And we were a little bit more carefree in the last year's bubble because it was much more restrictive.
Yeah.
And there was no way to, there was no way to get infected because the bubble was so contained. So it's a little bit more difficult this time around. The scheduling, too, because of the postponements and stuff, has made it hard. And the week-to-week schedule is also hard. We don't know, and then we have to prepare real quick and go out. So a lot of different mitigating factors go into winning and losing in this bubble right now. And the team that's handling the best is usually the team that is the one winning. I thought we handled the last bubble really, really well. We're not as good as we are this time. We're not as solid as we have been in the last bubble. So we're struggling a little bit. Talking Tex has done really, really well, and Magnolia. But there's still a lot of basketball games left, and we're basically halfway through, and still a lot of things could happen between now and playoff time.
Coach, I remember last year when we spoke about the mental challenges of that bubble, the more restricted bubble that you mentioned. Do you feel like you've adjusted more now to this kind of setup? Do you think you can say that you're better prepared, especially mentally now, to play amid these circumstances that change from time to time as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's you're a little bit more prepared this time because you've already had the experience of playing the last bubble. So you know kind of what to expect, but still there's things that come at you all of a sudden that you're not prepared for, like the change in schedules.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot more testing this time around than we were in the last bubble. We're being tested before each game and tested once a week as well as a whole league. So it's mentally challenging, that's for sure. But for me, in our experience, our guys are their heads are up and they seem to be doing well. And we try to do a lot of activities. We had an activity last night where we watched a Luke Longley documentary as a team.
Wow.
And just did just try to do some creative things that kind of keeps us together and keeps us going.
Yeah.
And keeps guys out of sitting in their room all day. We want them out of the room and kind of hanging out with each other.
Yeah. Also, have that sanity still. Coach, How about injury concerns? Because it's tough. You guys are practicing every day. You guys have. How do you manage the time of these players, and also to avoid injuries hitting your players, especially the ones that you would be needing down the stretch?
Well, I think it's funny. You go outside to the pool area here at the hotel,
Yeah.
and they've got all these bathtubs all around the pool, and for all the teams that are here, and you walk out there, and guys are sitting in these ice baths. I mean, I didn't have these things, 30 years ago when I was playing basketball. But these guys, they go through these. They go, dump into their baths, and they're full up to their neck in ice. And they sit in this ice bath for 20 minutes or something like that. And I just can't imagine what they're doing, But this is part of their recovery in today's game. And so you see the guys come on to play in the game, but you don't know what they're doing off the floor to stay healthy, to stay at the highest level they can be. Mm-hmm. They go through some incredible stuff and workouts and recovery things and the food that they eat, and it's quite a process in today's game to stay at the level they need to stay in, and it's even harder here in the bubble, I think, to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's really amazing to walk out there and see the players sitting in bathtubs with ice all the way up to their neck. It's incredible.
Did you try that? Have you tried?
No. I would never in my life.
Not even once?
I walked by Stanley yesterday. I walked by Stanley Pringle yesterday, and I said, Stanley, I'm glad it's you and not me. He was sitting in that thing with his headphones on, looking at his phone, ice up to his neck, hand out of the water. I mean, and I go, Stanley, I'm so glad it's you and not me.
Even after having, let's say a 10K run, you wouldn't try it, not one bit?
No, no, I don't need it.
Okay.
It would probably, if I jumped in there, it would probably give me a heart attack at my age. So I don't need to do that kind of stuff.
Okay, Coach. You know what? You won the bubble last year. We've been talking about that. Is there still, do you use that to motivate your boys as well? Like that added confidence knowing that you've done it. You've won in a situation like this inside an arguably a tougher bubble setup last year. Do you still use that, or you take it off, clean slate, and then it's starting from zero once again?
Well, I think it's a two-edged sword, winning championships. And we won. I think as you win championships, it becomes a little bit more. In some ways, it becomes easier because the guys are more experienced and do have the confidence. But on the other hand, you're no longer hunting on teams. Teams are hunting you after you win championships. We won the Justin Championship before the bubble, so we're trying to win our third in a row. And the good news is that we've got some fresh blood like Christian, and our rookies and MJ and guys that are coming in and trying to they really want to win still again, and that they kind of push the other guys forward. But it's a two-edged sword. You do have that confidence, but you start to wear down a little bit, I think, and it's hard to stay fresh after winning a couple of championships, and that's why the Grand Slam is so difficult to win. Of course, that's in a period of 1 year, but trying to win multiple championships in a row, and again, we're on our third, trying to win our third in a row here.
Yep.
It's a two-edged sword, but when it comes down to playoff time, the guys are playoff ready, they're playoff hardened, they know what it takes. And so the eliminations, in my mind, is the hard part. If we get into the playoffs, we feel we can rely on our experience and still have chances to win a championship.
I will never bet against Tim Cone and a Tim Cone-led team in the playoffs. I will end there. Coach Tim, thank you so much again for obliging us with this interview. Always great talking to you, especially it's a Friday, ending the week. Thank you, Coach. Go to your test.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck today. You too. Good luck against San Miguel tonight. The one and only winningest coach in the PBA, Barangay Ginebra head coach, Tim Cone.